What is up, everyone? Hey, welcome to another. Actually, hold on. It's not another. It's the first
Episode
one, huh?
one.
Yo, this is episode one of
Welcome to
Developer Talk.
yeah,
Yo, everyone, we got Tech Rally here right now.
yeah.
But it's so funny. I literally texted you like I'm looking at my phone right now an hour ago, saying, "Hey, you want
Mhm.
to do a video slash podcast?" And you're like, "Let me get back to you." He had to check his schedule. He's too busy for me.
Hey, it's a Friday night, man. Well, we gotta make sure
Oh,
busy
true.
schedule's free and all that. But
Oh yeah, true. Oh, I don't do much on Friday. Friday night. Actually, no. I just came back from the movies. There's this new Marvel movie.
did you watch it?
Dude, it's so good. What's the name of
It's
that movie?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
There you go. I don't want to mess that name up.
yeah,
Yeah, Shang-Chi, dude, it's so good.
yeah.
It is so good. And you know how they have clips the end of every Marvel movie, you have to wait till
Mhm,
after the credits?
mhm.
Wait this time.
Oh,
Yo, it is
cannot
legit.
wait.
Yo.
Yeah,
It's real. Have you ever been close to feeling burnout? Have you ever been burned out in tech?
all the time, man. It's just part of the game. But hopefully,
All the
uh,
time. Whoa.
yeah. I think
Really?
not. Do you not?
Hmm. Actually, I have only once.
Okay.
But you've been in a year longer than me. Maybe if when I hit that 6 year mark,
I,
I'll
I,
start.
I, I think it's also probably self-inflicting at times because sometimes
Mm,
you get obsessed, and when you get obsessed about something, you're digging and digging and digging and digging, and then you're hoping to actually find the answer, but there are moments where it's like you just hit that ground and there's nothing there, and you're like, crap.
yeah,
I'll just save this for tomorrow or whatever, right? But
yeah.
I think that's usually when burnout kicks in. But I've been pretty good as I've gotten more experience as a developer to just
Mm-hmm.
close my laptop at 5 o'clock and just say, "Hey, I'm going to talk to Krishan now at
Oh,
7 p.m."
yo, and your life must be great now. Just kidding. Actually, I had
It's
that.
all
I
right.
uninstalled Slack from my computer, my work email from my phone. Not my computer. I mean my phone, my personal laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have it all there. Not anymore.
Yeah,
Even if something urgent to do, unless it's I'm gonna get fired if I don't do it, I
yeah,
won't work till past that time. I need to work on my own stuff.
yeah.
But yo, we're here today because this is actually something I've realized on my own. And one thing I realized was that being a senior developer,
Mm.
right? They're all just because you're a senior developer does not technically mean that you're a senior developer, or just because you're a mid-level developer, or even right doesn't mean that you're not senior developer capable, right? It doesn't mean you can't be a senior developer or you're not as skilled as one.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I was a junior developer, thinking about I don't know if I'll ever make it to becoming a senior, right, in this industry. I'm curious, just from your point of view, how is that journey from junior to senior? Because I'm about to get there.
Right.
I never cared about titles, and now it's just being thrown at me. Yeah, what is your point of view in regards to that journey from junior to senior developer and so on?
I think titles are just titles. They don't actually have a lot of value, personally for me, because technically at Amazon, I'm not a senior developer, but at my last company, I'm a senior developer, right? But I also
Yeah.
make more money as a non-senior developer at Amazon, right? So I think sometimes people have this like misconception that like, oh, if I'm a senior, I'm going to make a lot of money. And so, there are people that or companies that have said that, oh, we can't pay you more, but we'll give you the title, right? Just to make them
Hmm.
feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But what I really believe is that no one should gatekeep when a developer should go from junior to mid or mid to senior, and
Hmm.
they shouldn't gatekeep them based on number of years in the industry. So I think that's
Hmm.
super important. Is like what if you're able to just kill it for the first 2 years and you spend all the time just learning how to code while you're working, and outside of work you're getting better, you're doing open
Hmm.
source, all of this stuff just to make yourself better as a developer. And you're right, you might actually be better than people that have been in the industry for 5-6 years that are just like slacking or not bothering to learn new technologies.
Yeah.
That's super important, right? Because technology keeps
It
changing.
is.
What do
It,
you think?
I mean, React alone changed. Just
Hmm.
React JS alone.
Yeah.
What React was 5 years ago isn't what it is today. I mean, I actually know quite a few people who went from being a developer for 2 years to getting their senior position after three. And I
Yeah.
actually thought that was kind of normal. And so for me, after hitting my 5 year mark, I'm like, dang. I
Yeah.
haven't I haven't received that title senior developer, but it never personally phased me. When I think about that title, I don't think people understand that. I mean, as a junior, I never thought I can do what my senior developer did.
Mm.
Now I can do that and more. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
Hmm.
And so I remember thinking I will never reach that level. Maybe I'll never make it. Maybe I should just give up anyway, since I'm gonna be stuck as a junior my whole life.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
Did you ever feel
why
like that?
why
Oh,
did you
what's up?
think like that actually? Because don't you feel like you're
Mm,
getting better and better, or is it
I
just
am.
felt like It
I
was
think
just this abyss.
now I'm very thankful for all the companies I worked with.
Hmm.
That first company, they didn't train me in anything.
Yeah.
It was just here's work, do that, or like here's what we need to be done, you do that, and there was no one mentoring me in how to I can actually advance in my career. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The company I work at now here at New Relic, there's people actually mentoring me. Like I wrote a technical blog, and it sucked like crazy. Right? I spent 50 hours trying to write that. It was my first
Hmm.
technical blog ever. I remember writing that, and then my boss was like, "You know what, Chris? Let's go meet." Outside, and I'm gonna show you how you can better do this. And you know what? Here, the company will pay for courses on how to be better at writing technical blogs.
Hmm.
I can make videos, I can make tutorials, but blogs writing is a
Another game. It's another game. Yeah.
not just anyone can do that, and it takes a
Yep.
lot of
Right.
practice.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so yeah, there was no one in my junior position or even my mid-level position. There was no one mentoring me
Yeah.
on how I can get better as a developer. It was just here's work, do it. And I think that's when I look back at those years, if I really did have someone solely focused on helping me elevate my skill, I'd be a much better developer today. And I'm not
Yeah.
blaming anyone.
Hmm.
That's on me.
Yeah.
But I that's when I think about that, I think it's really important to choose the right company to work for. You have no choice in your first job, but your second job you do.
Right. I think that it's a balance, right? Because sometimes I like to talk or tell people that I work with that, hey, you have to take ownership of your own career. No one's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're in a company that fosters growth and does the mentorship, does the pair programming, I think pair
Mhm.
programming is so underrated. But if you're able to just work with a senior developer pretty much like once or twice a week and you're looking at the same screen together and you're
Mhm.
trying to do it and they kind of tell you why you may not be doing it correctly and all of that, you're just kind of absorbing and stealing their knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So it's a fine balance and it's up to you to decide like, hey, I just spent 8 hours working. Do I want to do a little bit more and be
Mm.
try to be better, right? And a lot of times I never say you should work more hours because you love the company. You should work more hours to get better as yourself, like as an individual, right?
Mm.
Because
That's a good point. Yeah.
I even bring this up where it's like if you have your year end review and your boss is like, well, we can't give you any more money, Chris. And you're like, well, I know how good I am. I know I've killed it this year. I know how many extra hours I put in afterwards.
Mhm.
And you're gonna tell yourself, okay, cool. You're not gonna give me the extra $10,000 that I expected. Like, why are we $15,000 off? And
Yeah.
if they say that they can't do it, then you go, okay, it's nothing personal, but I'm gonna look for another job that's gonna pay me that
Yeah.
money, and I have the skills to prove it.
Yep.
So why not? Why not just? And at that point, they have nothing else they can say, right?
Yeah.
Because you have the skills and you
Mhm.
invested the extra time to do it. So
No, dude, that's so true. It's so funny because when you talked about that, that's how what I experienced in my first job.
hmm
I know how much effort I was putting into as a junior developer and getting better, going from zero to not hero, but zero
better,
to one,
yeah,
zero
zero
to
to better.
1.5. You know what I mean? To better. I was paid $45,000 a year, and for 2 years, all I wanted was a $5,000 raise. That extra
hmm
$200 a month would have helped a ton at that time living in California, but they never gave it. They thought I wasn't worth it, right? And so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna look for a job. After my second year, I got that job in Entrepreneur, right? And they paid me $70K a year, which isn't that
hmm
much more,
hmm
right? It's still nice. It's but in California, it's still not that much,
Yeah.
or in New York, right? It's not that much in any of those cities. But yeah, they didn't value me, so they only wanted to give me a not promotion, but a raise when I left.
Yeah, isn't that kind of ironic and funny? That's when I
Hmm.
truly learned that you have to treat your career like a job,
Business,
basically, like a
yeah.
business, right? And your company is not gonna willingly give you more money. And yeah, it's one of those things where I mean, it's not all about money, but
Hmm.
your skill, as long as you have the right skills, the money will come, right? That's what I
Yeah.
truly believe. And you just have to have confidence in yourself. And I think a lot of times like the line between junior to mid to senior is a
Hmm.
little bit of a like a facade because it's just like how confident are you in front of other
Yeah.
people.
No, for sure, man. I agree 100%. To be honest, and everyone knows this, but that's how you get the biggest pay increase is when you leave a company.
Right.
Almost every single time, unless you finally. I feel like that does tend to slow down when you hit the 200K range,
Hmm.
and you only start to get paid more if you go from like let's say you become a I don't know principal or staff engineer or go into the manager position. But even then, I personally feel like what you get paid as a manager isn't worth all that extra work you have to do for
Yeah.
maybe, $30,000 more. Yeah, it just doesn't feel personally worth it to me.
Right. Do you think the motivation to go from junior to mid or mid to senior, uh, for you at least, what percentage of it was trying to get better, and what percentage of it was, wow, I need to make more money because this
Mm,
life is not ideal still? I mean, of course, we start off really low, but
yeah,
you're
now
trying
we're
to you're trying
spoiled.
to yeah, you're trying to make life-changing money, right? So like, what was that motivation
Yeah.
like for you?
Now, I didn't care about getting better as a developer. I
Mm,
just got better just gradually working at the companies.
mhm,
I was more focused on building a business on the side because, and this is it, I know that I could make more money outside of tech than I can in tech. I think for me personally, I just wanted to be happier. And I knew that having the side income is more satisfying because now, like, think of it like this from my point of view. My boss, I tell him I don't care about promotion. I'm not
mhm,
going to work for promotion. I
mhm.
will not make decisions at work so I can get promotion. I'm going to work the way I do because I actually want to do the work and I enjoy what I do.
Right.
Why? Yeah, if I stay at this company, you'll give me what would it be? A per $15,000 raise just to
Mhm.
go from mid level to senior position. You know what? I can just make one video a week and I can get that from YouTube.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. Yeah.
and have less responsibilities at work. And so that's the way I saw things.
Mhm.
I can make more than my senior developer because I have a mid-level position salary, but my pay over that, but what I mean, my side hustle income, I'm technically making more than a principal engineer, right?
With like
And so
everything
that's how I
combined,
saw
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with it combined,
Yeah.
and not that I think I'm better than anyone. That's just the way I think because I keep thinking, yo, I don't want to work just to please someone. I want to work because I love what I do. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's a kind of like a fine balance, right? Because I kind of talked about what you have to love coding at what in one of my
You
older
do.
videos, because it's something that you're going to be constantly doing for like 8 hours a day. Some people don't understand how much time and investment you have to put
Problem
in.
solving
Yeah,
8 hours a
problems,
day. It's not just
exactly.
writing. You're not just typing a keyboard.
Hmm.
It's like imagine this. You're solving math problems
Hmm.
8 hours a day. It feels just like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think is like the major roadblock from a junior developer thinking like, hey, I am actually
Mm.
a mid-level developer? Because whenever I mentored like junior devs, a lot of times the confidence is lacking by you have to like dig in a little bit deeper, but I'd love to hear your perspective.
Like, how do I know when I am a mid level
Yeah, or like
or
what if someone was like, hey, Chris,
yeah?
I'm a junior dev at this company. I've been working
Mm.
here for 2 years. And I feel like I'm contributing, but when I talk to my boss, they only want to promote me from like engineer 1 to engineer 2.
Engineer
But
1.5.
yeah, like but engineer 3 is considered mid-level, right? So you're like
Yeah,
a junior developer plus is what they're trying to tell you, which is like so dumb. But yeah,
they're
like
just trying to
what
save money.
exactly? But what
Yep.
do you think? And that's another form of gatekeeping, right? Saying like, oh, we don't want to pay
Hmm.
you because you're just an E2, not an E3. But yeah, like is there a certain like skill set, certain number of years? Like, what do you think?
I would say don't let that title determine your value. That might be how that company sees you. But
Hmm.
no matter how a company sees you, you got to work on yourself no matter what. Right? And that's just the way I talk to myself. Now, one thing I do want to say is that I think one thing that everyone needs, whether you're mid level or a junior, right, developer, is just they need someone to give them that confidence to let them realize that that's not them forever. Or
Hmm.
maybe you really aren't a junior. Maybe you are more than a mid level developer, but your title does not determine that for you, right? You have to have that confidence to know that you're better than you realize. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things that held me back for so long. I think, okay, so personally, at my second job, all the developers that were working there when I was there a year and a half ago are still working there. And I could be wrong. I don't know what they're thinking or how they feel, but it seems like one of the reasons they still work there is their confidence in themselves, thinking that they might not be good enough to get that mid-level position or senior position.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It really is confidence. And I've seen even people in my last company, a lot of people
Mm,
actually left, but the people that left are really strong engineers. And
wow.
the reason why they leave is because they have that confidence in their own skills. And that's why I
Mm,
always emphasize the put in the extra hours, not for the company, but put in the extra hours for yourself, right? because the
Hmm.
more hours you put in for yourself, the more you gain that confidence. And then that confidence leads to, I don't know, going on Twitter and saying, I quit my job. I'm looking for something. And then all of a sudden, all these people hit you up saying, Krisha, we want you, right? Like you have that confidence because, you put in the hours, you know
Yeah.
exactly what you bring to the table. But if you don't have that confidence, then no one's going to give it to you for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, confidence is it. When I got laid off from Entrepreneur and I was making 70K, 3 days later, I mean, after I put that tweet out on Twitter, this company in Silicon Valley reached out to me to probably do the same thing I was doing on Entrepreneur, and they're offering to pay me $25,000 more, like
Mm. Without
$95,000 a year,
question. Yeah.
100, yeah, just like that, right? And when I was working, they didn't really give anyone a raise. If they did, it was very small. And so, just by looking to another company, if I looked for another job sooner, I would have gotten paid more sooner. And so, it is a
Yeah.
confidence thing for sure.
So I think for us, we've kind of went through the junior developer route, the mid-level route, and I would say we're kind of either mid or senior level developers. What
Mhm.
is, for people that maybe just starting off, like what should they be looking forward to that next role? What is considered promotion? What is considered more money? What's considered, well, like how do you be
Yeah,
that principal staff or whatever?
that's tough. So I got really lucky, right? So
Mm-hmm.
going from a mid-level job into the job I'm at now, I'm still a mid-level
Mm-hmm.
developer advocate, but I get paid more than senior or even some principal engineers at other companies, right? So I think for me, are you after a title or are you after money, more money,
Yeah.
right? Because I do less work than a principal or senior engineer at other companies,
Mm-hmm.
or it feels like it because it's easier for me to develop advocacy,
Mm-hmm.
but I make more. Or I can go after that title first and I know senior developers who make 110K a year,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it's more about what is it that you're after. And to be honest, even if you're not getting promoted to senior position at your company, if you've been in the industry for 3 or 4 years, it is easier than people realize to get a new job with that senior title.
That's why I think this topic is so kind of like a moot point in some regards,
Yeah.
because
Mm.
it's really about your skills and not necessarily about your title, right? Because titles are
Yep.
just a way for people to say you get paid in this like bracket, or you get paid in this
Literally.
bracket. Yeah, and that's
Literally.
all it
Yeah.
is. And like I've seen people, I like my goal in maybe like 15 years from this current time is to be the highest paid junior developer. Like like no responsibility, less
I,
responsibilities, and just get paid a lot, right? Like so that's my goal. Like I want to find a job that will like just be like, Alex, just work on these like few small
oh
features,
gosh.
and
Yeah.
we'll give you a 6-figure salary. I'm like, let's go. Like I don't need to make the same amount as I did before because I just want to
Yeah.
chill and relax, but just
Yeah.
enough where I could just chill,
Oh my. If I could ask, why is it because you're more focused on the side hustle?
for the junior
Uh,
developer thing or the
Yes. So this is kind of why I see things differently, because I don't see myself trying to be a lead software engineer, right? Or
mm,
a manager. I don't want to be a manager,
mm,
or go up to like being a director of DevRel. I mean, it's
yeah.
nice. I mean, actually, that would probably be fun. But it's not like my aim in life to go up there and title, right? But is your goal to grow something outside of being an engineer? Because as an engineer, like from my experience, you get paid more, but it's not as much as you. I won't get paid much more than I earn now. Maybe
Yeah.
$50,000, which is nice, but it's not like life changing money anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty similar in terms of age, like I am, and I've been working since I was 19, right?
Mm,
So I've been working for almost like a decade plus, and
yeah.
I've been through that motivation time where I want to grow in the company and I want to be that senior or that super senior
Mm-hmm.
or that manager, and I'm gonna, fight the rat race, and hopefully I could get that position, right? But
Yeah.
then I realized that there's just so many other things in life that you can appreciate. And like as long as you just do the job well, you should be able to do other things that you actually want to do, right? Like your life
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to revolve around work. And for me, the reason why I put in all those extra hours when I first started was I just wanted to get to a point where I could just relax,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was the first 2-3 years I was working as hard as I can, and I felt like I was drowning, like I was just on the deep end the whole
Mm,
time. But by
mm-hmm.
year 3 I was like, oh my gosh, I could finally breathe, and just it just felt like I was in the shallow end and I could just look up in the sun and then just kind of coast for a bit, to be
Yeah.
honest. And then that's when I got exposed to YouTube and potential side hustles. And
Mm,
I think I'm at a point in my career where I love doing the IC route, where just building out features and coming up
yeah.
with ideas. But I'm also thinking about what does it mean to what does life mean outside of just making money, right? How do you make a
Mm,
stamp in this world, and how do you become
mm,
this? I'm not like an influencer, but like, what can you do with the money that you have, right? Potentially, like, to maybe you could get into investing into like startups. You could get into like
mm.
angel investing, or look into like venture capitalism. So I want to have other interests, and coding, it doesn't necessarily revolve around my life. I just do coding is a way for me to figure out so many other different things, and that's why I'm so
Yeah.
happy that I'm a developer.
Yeah, it's not like we don't like to code,
Yeah, exactly.
but it's a tool to allow us to have more freedom to do other things.
Exactly. Man, you said
I,
it way better than me.
I mean, while you were talking, I was thinking how to say it in a smart way because you sound so much more intelligent. I have to keep up with you.
Maybe I should be a DevRel.
Wow.
I'm
Maybe
kidding.
you should. I'm trying to get you to. I am not going to lie, right? I really am trying to get you into DevRel.
Yeah.
I've been trying for like, what, a whole year already.
I know.
But yeah, it's a tool. I remember when I was doing customer service in Huntington Beach making $16 an hour, where you need to make 25 an hour to live at least decent in that area, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I was still working there 40 hours a week of my time, then for me to just keep up with trying to survive, I'd have to work another second job to just live comfortably. Now I just work. I work about 8 hours plus
5
a day.
to
I guess
10 hours a day. You mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
5. No, actually, that's more accurate.
Yeah,
to
that's
be
more
honest.
accurate. Yeah.
That's not including my side hustle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But 5 to 10 hours a day, just actual work. And now I make way more than enough to live comfortably. And so with that extra income or that extra time, I have nothing to worry about. I can use that to focus on YouTube, building a brand. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting aside money for emergency fund, paying off my debt in 3 months. I sold my Porsche after 2 months, right? Crazy. And now I'm going to save enough for a down payment on a house by next year, December. And I'm every single year from then on out, my goal is to buy 1 or 2 houses every year, 2 houses minimum. So, but I can do that because I make really good money in tech.
Right.
So tech is my tool to grow my investments outside of tech.
Exactly.
And I couldn't do that before making this income.
Right. And that's the kind of that, at least in terms of the topic that we're talking about today, in terms of career development, I would say rather than just focusing on the title, if you focus on your skills, it really gives you more opportunities to do something outside of tech if you really want to do it. And as developers, I think we just have a natural curiosity to solve things. And it doesn't always have to be just coding, right? So
yeah, no, I agree. It doesn't have to be just code. Thank you for bringing me back to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main topic is from junior to senior. But yeah, so it's not necessarily aiming for a title. It's aiming like, what is your goal in life?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Do you feel like having a focus on just specific front end or back end or full stack is a way what do you think is a good strategy? I have my own opinions, but I'd be curious about yours.
You mean starting off and then trying from there to senior? I think
yes. What's the fastest way to get senior level, quote unquote?
Front end.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone likes to say be full stack developer. It doesn't matter if you're only back end or front end. You will work a back end.
Right.
As a front end developer, I barely do any back end. I had to learn to work with PHP. I had to learn to work with Laravel, writing, SQL statements, etc. Pushing everything in the database, blah blah blah. I had to learn all of that stuff as a front end developer. So either way, you will work a little bit with back end. And so I think focusing on one thing, which I think is front end development, and in particular React.js, because there are a ton of jobs in there, or Next.js now more than anything, or Jamstack. Gosh, there's so much technology now. Holy, I think that would be the route. Focus on front end. Go increase your. Go. I'm losing my train of thought right now. It's the freaking coffee. Sorry, I had like a really big coffee, bro. But yeah, I think just focusing on front end.
Monster.
Bro, I didn't just drink coffee, bro.
Oh my goodness! Is that you have the same one?
Yep. Nice hat, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, we didn't even talk about this.
The Dodgers suck. It's all about the Giants. Sorry.
I think the Dodgers are ahead right now.
Anyway, so what are we talking about?
Focus.
Yes.
You need to focus. What do we need to focus on? Front end or back end?
Front end.
Front end.
Yes. What about you?
Yeah, I think having a strong focus on something will make you a significantly better developer because you could actually
Mhm.
have opinions about it.
Yeah.
And to me, I worked at an agency for about 8 months doing full stack. But then I realized that I actually really like doing front end and I
Mhm.
like doing React development. And that's when React was just first starting off. But since I became so familiar with React, I have a lot of strong opinions about other front end frameworks, like what it what's good about it, what's bad about it, what I don't love about it. Like, oh, one thing that I would say that differentiates someone that is kind of new to someone that has experience. I'm not going to even put like mid or senior, but someone that has experience is having opinions. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be.
that's
It
true.
doesn't have to be offensive. Like there are often times where I just go, I don't really care, to be honest. But I have my own opinions of what I prefer to do, but I'm not gonna judge someone else if they like it. But I just have my opinions, and I just keep
Mhm.
it to myself more than anything. But I have opinions, and I feel strongly about it if we're gonna make like a technical decision as a team.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think even just to add to that, just being able to share a opinion is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Mm-hmm.
just think, and that's my problem. I like
Yeah.
listening. I like learning so much where I'll just listen, and then
Mm-hmm.
not share my thoughts. And that's what I noticed. The people who actually end up getting that mid level position sooner or to senior are the people who share their opinions, even if they're wrong,
Right.
even if it makes no sense. Because you share it shows that you have the confidence. I mean, it shows that you have confidence in general, and that is what you need. Now, you need to be
Yeah.
confident once you get up to senior or even staff, right?
E- I would say I went from 8 months into my agency to a mid-level developer at my second company to a senior developer at that same company in a year. It's because I
Wow.
was overconfident. Like I was just so confident in myself and I spewed out confidence and it was a little bit of cockiness with that confidence.
Hmm.
And I can say that the strategy worked, but the long-term wise it's not the most healthiest way to be in a company, but
Yeah.
like having that sort of confidence and cockiness, I guess, if you want to put it that way, like really elevated me to garner respect and like, oh, Alex knows what he's talking about, right? But if I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, sure, that
Quiet,
works,
keep
or
to
I don't
yourself.
know, yeah, keep it to yourself,
Yeah.
then you're not gonna get that respect from your team.
You know what? Coming from someone who has a team of developers, the developers, now that I think about it, the developers who share their opinion the most, even if they're wrong, the ones who ask the most questions, are the ones I think about when it comes to, all right, I need this problem to be solved. Who do I use? Right?
Yeah,
Out of these two developers that I have. And it's often the person, wow, now that I think about it, it's often the person who shares their opinion, even if they're wrong,
yeah.
most of the time. So,
Hopefully they're right a few times. That
I mean, you know what I mean?
that
Like,
builds the reliability, you know.
I hired two junior developers, so they're learning, but the person who asks the
Yeah.
questions learns faster. If
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. What would you consider what would you consider a senior developer? And now this can differentiate from company to company, but
Mm-hmm.
at Amazon, you work at Amazon, right? Or you're jobless right
Yeah.
now? Okay,
No,
okay.
I work at Amazon.
I'm just joking. I'm trolling you. What would you consider
Stop trying to
a
recruit me, bro.
You want to be a staff developer somewhere, bro? Anyway,
No, we can talk about that later. Actually, I'm
okay.
curious about your thoughts on some DevRel.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean
Yeah,
talk about it on here? Oh, dang! I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
you.
On here,
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna talk about it
okay.
here.
Darn it! I
But
thought you. Okay.
I'm curious about your thought process on DevRel routes. But anyways, what were you gonna ask about senior level developers?
Yeah. So, what would you consider a senior, or you're you're not, you don't have the title senior. I consider you a senior. I'm surprised you're not
Mm-hmm.
considered senior there. But let's say your title currently is mid level
Mm-hmm.
developer, meaning that you kind of suck, but you don't suck too bad.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm not quite the entry, but I'm not
I'm
quite the
joking,
senior.
bro. Uh, but what would you consider
Jerk.
someone? What would you consider a mid level developer at Amazon? Are you front end? You're primarily front end, right?
I am front end, but I'm kind of doing more full stack at the moment
Mm,
because my team just needs more full stack capabilities. So
okay.
I would say the difference between what's the question again? Difference between mid and senior, or just senior?
What would you
Because
consider a mid level at your position now, and what would you consider senior at Amazon?
I think the mid level is generally around like 5-6 years of experience, and then
To
with
be mid level
us to
at
be mid
Amazon,
level,
that makes sense.
my personal opinion, where it's like you
Mm,
have confidence in what you do, and you're capable of executing.
Yeah,
But
that's important.
the difference between a senior and a mid-level is that it feels like a senior has had enough experience to lead a team in some regards
Would you
and
say
lead.
lead a project to success?
It is, but it's like Amazon has like a totally different criteria of what it's
Mm,
like to build build something, right? There's
yeah.
just so many more layers. It's not just like, hey, here, like build a React app and like whatever. You have to start thinking about like long-term scale. You have to start thinking about architecture. You have to start thinking about so many different things as a senior level developer, and you're kind of talking to um like upper management potentially, and just doing a
Yeah.
lot of different things, not just coding. But also what I noticed is that they're just able to grasp concepts really quickly because
Mm,
they've kind of seen it in their industry. They may have been in this industry for 10, 20 years. So not
yeah.
only are they good at coding, they're good at documenting, they're good at
Mm,
setting up meetings with just the appropriate like party members. They're good at explaining what the actual issue is. They're good
yeah.
at pushing back without sounding like a dick. Like all of these
Mm,
things are really important for a senior level developer. So that's kind of when I'm noticing the difference between someone that's like if I was me 4 more years from now, that's what I think I would be. But I
yeah.
could already see the difference between like me being 6 years versus what I think I could be in 10 years, and if
Wow.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No. My mentor, who still works at Amazon, he's I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to him in a while. He was my mentor. He was about to be promoted to principal engineer. So
Hmm.
principal, there's no position from what he told me. There's no such thing as a principal web developer at Amazon.
Right.
But he would have just been promoted to principal software engineer, even though he joined as a mid-level web developer and
Yeah.
just kept growing. And after 10 years, yeah, they consider him to be a principal, or they're about to promote him. And one of the reasons I asked them, why do you think they consider promoting you, or what is it that makes you different than other people? And it's that he likes to learn. He likes to solve problems, and more, not just like every developer should like to solve problems, but
Hmm.
he goes above and beyond,
Yeah.
which is amazing. But for me, it's hard to do that. I don't like just putting most of my day focused on how to make a company a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right, the 8 hours I'm supposed to give them that they're paying me to do, I'll go all out. But after
Hmm.
that, no.
I think that's a good point too, and I would say like even a lot of my mid-level developers, quote unquote mid-level developers in Amazon, they could be
Which are seniors
even like
everywhere.
principals or staff like at a startup, right? This is like why I think the names are so stupid, right? In some
Yeah.
regards, it became even more evident to me because I've seen so many smart people that are technically my level that are smarter than I am, and I think they should be senior, quote unquote.
Mm,
But like anywhere outside of Amazon, like the bar is so high that I haven't met a single person at Amazon that I was like, oh wow, like I don't really want to talk to you because you don't understand what I'm asking. And when I've worked at startups, I've
yeah.
had to like this is a great person that I could chat with, but I can't have a technical conversation with this engineer because
Yeah.
he or she's just not at my level, right? And like
Wow. Yeah.
it's one of those things where every single person I've met at my current company, very smart. Everyone's
Wow.
regardless of level, like even the technically entry level, the level below me, very smart developers. So
Yeah.
everyone just has the chops to help you solve the problem, which I think is really cool.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow. That sounds terrifying.
it's terrifying, but it's there's two ways that people interpret this. It's like number one, everyone's so smart, so everyone gets super competitive, right? Everyone's trying to get to
Mm.
that senior level position and all of
Mm.
that stuff. But luckily, I think I'm more kind of similar to you, where I don't really care if I become senior or not. And maybe I
Mm.
shouldn't say that. If I get it, then I will be happy about it, and I'm going
Yeah.
to put in the work that I can to do the best that I can. But
Mm.
ultimately, I am happy with where I am in terms of my like career. If I could just
Yeah.
get better, like I don't want a title to be my motivation
Yeah.
uh to work as hard as I am. Like I work hard because I just want to be better. And like
Yeah.
if the title comes, then the title comes. That's how I like to just interpret, or that's how I like to just navigate my career in general.
Happiness. I mean, it's
Yeah.
important to be content too. And there
Yeah.
is so much more. I wish people can realize you can do outside of tech. I just use it
Mm-hmm.
as a tool. And and the reason I shared this too is because when I was meeting that mentor of mine at Amazon, the senior developer there, he told me there are developers that work at Amazon who just code 9 to 5 and then they go home. And that's it. They don't care about getting better as a developer. They just want to do that 9 to 5, get the paycheck. And I remember thinking, wow, that person's a bad developer. But now, as I'm in this industry for 5 years, it depends on what they're doing at home, but I would probably be the same way, right? Unless I'm really doing something I'm passionate about, like developer advocacy. But aside from that, again, for me, I see this just as a tool, right, to take care of my family and to elevate my my life outside of work, like investments.
Yeah. I mean, and I know we're talking about junior to mid to senior and stuff, but with developer advocacy, where would you put my level as a content creator? Am I a junior developer advocate? I'm kind of joking here, but I what I'm trying to allude to is like, can any developer become a developer advocate, right? Which I don't think I don't think anybody can, but people put developer advocacy as like, oh, anyone could do it, but it's so not true.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's a good question. Yeah, I think what we can do is we can just do
a mock
this,
interview,
right? We can look at your YouTube channel now, but
is that a minimum requirement? Does every person that applies for developer advocacy need a YouTube channel?
No. I know juniors. I know junior developer advocates who have no experience. Actually, just because you have zero experience doesn't mean that you can't be it. Because a lot of them actually started doing content creation before doing being a developer advocate. And so you've been doing that, right? You've been doing that the last how long you been doing this? 10 years, and now you have 2,000 subscribers. So I'm proud of you, right? I'm so proud of you after 10 yees, bro. It took me a month to get 1,000 subscribers. It's okay though. It's
bro. No, you did YouTube when there was just no one there. You had no competition.
I mean, that's why there's no competition.
You're the only Asian Filipino YouTuber that was trying to get into tech.
It helped a ton. But no, you're doing well though. Like, you're uploading consistently. Yeah, and your views have gone up. But anyway, aside from that, though, what when I think about developer advocacy, I can see you doing that because number one, you're already creating content when you're only making like $2 a video, right? Like, bro, no, I mean, sorry, no, I'm not. This sounds like I'm making. I'm not. No, I mean like when you're not making money from it, you're doing it.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna cut that off in the interview. That sounds so mean. That came off so mean.
You should totally be a developer advocacy because people are not watching your content and just you're only making $2, so you should totally be a developer.
No. What I mean is,
you need to get paid for this.
Oh, that sounds so bad. I mean, even when you're not making any money, right? No one's paying you to do it. You're doing it. Right, and that's one of the number one things I look for if I think someone would be a good developer advocate. So you've been doing that. That, and it's not easy. It's hard as hell creating content.
Yeah. But do you think the criteria? I was gonna say, do you think the criteria is just different though? Like, if I'm trying to get a junior developer position,
it's not as technical.
Junior developer advocate position.
While working here at my current company, I've interviewed like maybe 10 different companies. Even on my other jobs, I'm always interview when people reach out to you, right? I'll always interview, right? And it's just to see what other people value me as, and etc. So even when I'm working here, people will reach out to me for developer advocacy, and like. Only I think out of the 10 I've ever interviewed at, only 2 of them wanted to do a technical interview. And when they want to do a technical interview, I stopped the interview right there. I don't want to work with them. Right. So it's totally different. It's, do you have any content out there? Or if you don't, why? But I mean, having content is number one. That helps a ton. And you already have that.
For example, if a mid-level developer that hasn't made any content wants to be a developer advocate, do you think they have to start off as a junior developer advocate?
No.
You know what I mean?
No way. No. Okay. Yeah. So people who are junior developer advocates are people who literally have no experience, or maybe just 1 year of experience. From what I've seen, 0 to 1 years of experience. If you have 2, 3 years of experience, you're generally just mid-level. Not just, but you're mid-level developer advocate. And yeah, I know people who have never been developer advocate in their life, and they wanted to go into it. They've never done any of that work, and they became a principal developer advocate just like that because they've been writing code. They've been a programmer for 20 years. Right?
But do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What's up?
No, I was gonna ask. You know how we have had this conversation where titles don't really matter? Does it matter in developer advocacy? You think, or
nope? So when I think of titles in developer advocacy, the only thing that's cool about titles, it makes you look better to other people. Like. As a developer who's not showing your face on the internet, no one cares about your title. Yeah. But as a developer advocate, let's say you're a staff developer advocate, principal, or senior, that just looks better because we're the face of our companies,
Right.
right? So when people
Right.
look at you, is that person a developer advocate or a senior? Oh, he's a senior, not just a
Mhm.
mid-level.
Mhm.
Not that mid-level is bad, it's not at all, okay? But yeah, that's the only that's the only thing I think about, and you get paid better than someone else. That's it.
True.
That's all it
True.
means. It's
I
like you're in
see.
high school again.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to compare like software engineering career versus developer advocate career. I mean,
So
they're
different.
all
So
engineers at the end of the
different.
day. At the end of the day, but
Yeah.
it's different, right? So
Very different. It's education.
wonder,
You're educating
right,
people. That's it.
right.
Which I
But
think is harder than just programming, to be
yeah,
honest.
what do you think are the pros and cons of developer advocacy?
Oh, dude. Pros and cons of developer advocacy. Dude, we're gonna turn this into so many clips on YouTube. Holy crap.
This is like a question right here that you could clip
yeah.
out.
So what are the pros and cons of developer advocacy? I think number one, the pro is you have more freedom than a software engineer. I'm traveling to Portland next week. Every meal I eat, I have next week in Portland, okay, is paid for. I want
Right.
to spend $300. Of course, you don't want to go crazy,
Yeah.
right? And it's all paid for when you travel. And then 2 weeks after that, or a week after that, I'm traveling to St. Louis. Same thing. So all that food I would have spent on my own when I stayed here in Vegas, all that's paid for. So that's an extra $1,000 in my pocket. I'm not saying I spend $500 a week on food.
Damn,
Maybe
bro,
I do, but
you gaining weight, bro?
I did. Do not look at my YouTube videos. Right, that history on YouTube videos and how much weight I gained. But other than that, though, you do get a lot of freedom. One of the things is that you get to go to conferences all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to a conference in Korea. If it's going to benefit our company, paid for. And I can stay there 3 or 4 days longer if I wanted to. So free vacation, free travel. Right? Now, and the pay is really good. And to be honest, you know how there's a big demand for software engineers because there's not enough software engineers?
Right.
There's even more of a demand for developer advocates. So you'll always have a job.
Con
is you work more than a software engineer.
What?
At conferences, I work 14-hour
see.
days.
I see.
And I write blog posts, make videos and all that. And you I feel like you're using more of that creative part of your brain more than just writing programs. As a program, right? As programming. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
What about learning? Do you think you're growing as a developer, or is it just kind of this? You're growing as more of a developer advocate. Yeah.
I'm growing more as a developer advocate because I'm not contributing to any code in production anymore. Right. So yeah, that is one thing too, is that you have to make sure you're still keeping up your technical skill. Yeah. Now, fortunately, I do make technical tutorials and etc., and that keeps me up to par. But I work at a monitoring company, odds availability company, so it's not front end technical skills I'm learning anymore. It's primarily back end. So I'm not going to lie, I forgot quite a bit of JavaScript.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you've been doing all this Python, right?
Bro, hey, it's fun. Yeah, it's a lot. Fun. Yeah. So, do you want to be a developer advocate? I know a company that's hiring.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think that's the part that what you just described is what I conflict with a lot. Is I enjoy the creativity side, but I also love the solving aspect of being a software developer.
I missed that part. I'm not gonna lie. I missed that.
Yeah. And it, to kind of what I think I have right now is this healthy balance where I could be creative on the side while I also can solve problems. But if I'm a developer advocate, I don't know if I could ever be as knees deep or I don't even know what that term is, but really into just the solving problems, because the developer advocacy side just forces you to be creative, and then maybe if you're to your point, you're spending more hours working. I won't be exposed to a big level code base or anything like that. So I think right now I have a healthier balance of being creative whenever I feel like it, but maybe I won't have it the other way around. Yeah.
You know what? Oh, that's such a good point. There's a reason I upload less YouTube videos than before, because I'm creating content all the time now for a living.
Yeah. And it's like a job, right? So at the end of the day,
no, it is. It is part of my job, creating YouTube channel videos for my channel too.
Yeah.
But when you're creating so much content for your company that you work for, and then after hours you have to make content for your own brand, that's hard. Because I was used to just writing code 8 hours a day, and then going home to make content. It's totally different now. I feel totally different. It's harder. It is harder now.
That's why people ask me, why don't I code they ask me, why don't I code on my YouTube channel? I'm like, I do not want to code after I spent 8 hours coding. Like that's the last thing I want to do. And this is just my
Yeah.
advice to do something a little bit different, be creative. And I think if I become a developer advocate, I might not want to be more like creative. If anything, I'll probably be like,
Yeah.
oh man, I want to code now all the time.
Yeah. No. So what if there was a company hiring like a staff, a developer advocate, and they would pay you the same that you're earning now. Which is not much, but I mean, it's just I'm just joking. But I'm always showing you they're paying you the same salary you're earning at whatever company you work at,
Mhm.
and would you consider doing it? Like,
Well,
try it out for a year.
yeah, I mean that I don't think money is that much of a debate or much of a like it doesn't really
Whoa,
no
dang!
sorry money the
I'm
the
joking.
money
I'm joking.
is not as relevant. It's just more about how do I want to spend my time. I think there is a part of me that just thinks that I'm not as I don't think I may be better than you at coding.
No,
But
you
I'm
worked at
definitely
Amazon.
not, no, I'm just kidding. Well, one thing for sure though is I'm not as creative as you are, right?
How do I turn off
So
your camera?
one thing I'll definitely admit is like I'm not as creative as you or some other like Kenny Gunderman, like those kind of YouTube channels that have you guys bring a different element and it's very refreshing. So and sometimes I have my own imposter syndrome thinking like, oh, I don't think I could be a good developer advocate at times. So
Nah, I think you would. You're good at speaking, right?
mm,
I mean, I wouldn't bring you on here, right? You have to
yeah.
match my level. Uh, I'm just joking. Why are we trolling each other now?
Chris is really good at coding. I was just lying, guys.
But no, I've been creating content for 5 years though. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And you just been only writing code.
Yeah.
So that's right. So I mean, anyone could get into it.
Yeah.
Now I would be a better developer though if I didn't have a YouTube channel. Without a doubt.
We definitely
Like,
talked about this too.
You'd like try to keep up with me. You know what I mean? But you're very lucky. I focus on content creation.
No, I mean I'm sure you
I'm
would have
joking.
been just as up there with me too, right? Because
I can't take it serious. Yeah. Okay.
well, because you kind of had 2 jobs before DevRel was actually a
Very
real
true.
job. You work for free, but loser. I'm just kidding. I have literally 2,000 subs trolling something like that has
Holy
almost
crap.
80,000 or 90,000 subs.
Oh my gosh, bro.
You literally have 45x the number of subs that I do. But good thing I'm a 10x developer.
I'm just saying,
Anyways,
I received 3 job offers in the last week and I rejected them. I'm just saying.
I only got one, and I took it. It's not about the quantity; it's about the quality.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what we were talking about anymore.
Oh shoot! Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, Deborah.
Yeah, DevRel.
Yeah,
No, it's more about What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say it's definitely something that I'm curious about. A part of me, especially because I've seen what senior level developers can do, quote unquote senior level developers in the 10 years. I feel like there's still so much to learn. I don't know. It sucks because there's a part of me that wants to be creative and figure that part out. And
you can try it. I'm just saying. I mean, I know a person that knows a person that can help you get a job in a matter of a couple days. I'm just saying.
When are you posting this video? Next thing you know, I'm just gonna get like pulled into an office like, hey, so we saw this video by this famous guy named Chris Sean and I saw your face.
Amazon, do not look at this video. Oh wait, you don't work at Amazon, you work at Facebook, let's just say.
Yes, exactly.
But no, I know a person that knows a person if you're interested, but yeah,
we'll
I can see you doing it well. Aside from that though, man, you're happy though for you're not a senior developer, that's totally fine, right? It's totally fine, but you're good.
Hey, as long as I get paid well, it doesn't.
Yeah, you get paid better than me, man.
You can call me a junior developer for all that matters.
You get paid better than me. I'm happy for you. Oh, actually, one thing before we end. Do you think it's important that developers share their salaries among each other? Does it help?
I don't know about sharing it amongst like in the public, like because we work more YouTube personalities, I guess, or just more online presence. But I think people should be more transparent, at least within your company and whatnot.
Yeah, within the company with each other, not in public.
Not in public. Yeah, but
Don't be
I
like
mean,
me.
you know how much I make, and I know how much you make. So
Yeah.
I think
So
amongst friends and stuff, it's good. It's not even a way to flex. It's just more like, are you getting paid fairly in this market? And
exactly.
yeah,
It's not flexing. It's awkward. I shouldn't share this. Oh, I can't share it. Dang. Yeah, it could be awkward, but I think it's important to share.
yeah,
Cool.
exactly. Yeah,
Yo, this was fun, man.
this was fun. Yeah,
This was fun. I feel like you would actually be. I would be friends with you in real life.
we are friends in real life.
Oh yeah. Oh my bad. My bad. Oh, okay.
What's going on here? Bro? It's like, hey, this is a tech rally. Also, Alex, my YouTube friend. You know those people that always have to put something in front of like a friend. This guy here, he's my real friend.
My YouTube friend, real friend, Instagram friend, TikTok friends. Oh gosh.
Clout following.
Nah, dude. No, but you're killing it, man. Seriously.
Thanks, dude.
And I want to have you. I mean, dude, honestly, if y'all want to see him in more of these videos, let us know. And if you don't, just don't leave a comment at all.
You should next. Hey, you use me as a co-host sometimes. You know, we'll bring in a third guest. We'll just grill, just make.
We should do another video on developer salaries. Actually,
yeah, we could do that too. Yeah,
let's do that. I'm down.
What was your first developer salary again?
45. Okay, what was yours?
75. But that was in New York.
I
think
in California.
LA is cheaper. LA is cheaper though. Than New York.
That was an OC. What about your second?
90,000.
Gosh, mine's 70. Okay, what about your third?
That's my Amazon. So I can't tell you that one.
Wait. So your last job was 90?
Well, that's what I started with. I didn't end with 90.
What did you end with?
Ooh, I think so. I stayed at that company for 5 years.
Yeah.
I ended with 157.
Oh, it's not bad.
Not bad, right? But I hustled hard.
Okay. Yeah.
I hustled. You remember how I told you about that thing where I said, if you don't want to pay me, then I'm going to go somewhere else, kind of thing.
Oh,
that's what I really believe in. It's like you have to justify your pay. But me going from 90 to 157 is unheard of in any company.
Yeah, usually you join another company for that.
Exactly.
Like
imagine nine. What is that? That's like almost like $70,000 within 5 years. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But if you're confident in your skills, then you could justify a lot of different things. So
true, and or just get another job.
Yeah, or get another job.
Sure.
I mean, that's easier. That's the easiest way. But I think I found that sweet spot where I didn't have to like work too hard and then still get paid a good amount of money. But imagine when I say that I make more than that, right? So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, considering your first salary when you join that company, you have more than double that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I don't mean to give away your income. I remember you more than double.
And then you make triple what I make, right? So like, it's crazy.
True,
man.
and that speaks for itself.
You know?
I don't have to code for that. Yeah. So I'm joking. No, for sure. We gotta do a video on salaries then. No, but yo, everyone, thank you for watching. This will be audio podcast, and it will be uploaded to YouTube too. Gotta do this again. I appreciate it, dude.
All right, man. I'll see you later.